All right, so let's start with what I call dentistry as a box. What does that even mean? Well, I tried to figure out for many years why I wasn't as passionate about dentistry as I used to be. I went through everything. I really loved the progress. I really liked the growth. I was a very young dentist, and I was a very young accredited dentist, a very young speaker. There was a lot of things that were going on in my life. I had plenty of money. I had time. I had autonomy to live a good life. I was respected by my peers, and everything was going great. But there was something missing. Something went wrong, and it took me a long time to put my finger on it. Essentially, I was just not as excited anymore. I didn't look forward to going to work, and I felt trapped. What does that really mean, trapped? Well, I was making enough money, but spending just as much money to live a great lifestyle. I was not thinking ahead. I had to work rather than want to work. Now, cutting a crown or doing a smile makeover, it was just not as exciting anymore because I had done it so many times. Essentially, my career had drifted off into becoming a job, which is entirely my fault. I let that happen. And it took me a long time to realize that this is what I call the golden handcuffs. I had to work rather than wanting to work. I couldn't just quit. I had a lot of responsibilities. And I wasn't really looking forward to anything because I've achieved most of the goals that I had set. So if you look at dentistry, it's kind of like a box. We work in an operatory. It's boxy. We see the same kind of situation all day long. It's very repetitive if we let it get there. So after speaking to hundreds of dentists, just like myself, I realized that I was not alone. There's other dentists who feel the same way. As a matter of fact, a lot of you guys apparently feel the same way. I had the pleasure of going to events like this, having a glass of wine or two, or in my case, bourbon and Sprite, since I lived in Kentucky for 14 years. And after a bourbon or a Sprite, things change. People start opening up to you. And I hear the different story. I don't hear, I'm aspiring to be just a regular run-of-the-mill dentist. I hear, I want to be a photographer. I want to go out and explore the world. I want to, all these things, yet they weren't related to dentistry. These prominent speakers had achieved the milestones we all are shooting for, but they weren't excited anymore. Even worse, I noticed that they were in poor health. A lot of them, the older gentlemen and ladies, had heart attacks. They were divorced, often multiple times. The neck pain, the back pain, the ears, the eyes, it was just a constant rant about the negative effects of how they got to where they're at. Essentially, I felt many of them were depressed. And I guess that explains our higher suicide rate, or one of the reasons probably. So they felt trapped in that proverbial box I was describing. They were stuck. They were limited in happiness, health, and success. So if you're in that boat, or if you can relate, then this is going to help you. If you're one of those dentists who's just enthusiastic and loves what they do and is setting goals and has a lot of growth in their life, then, congratulations, you figured out the secret. If you're one of those dentists who has thought ahead and is able to retire or move on to a different career because they want change and they thought ahead, good for you as well. I'm really looking to speak to those people in the middle who don't have the answers yet. And I figured out how to get out of that spot, and I'm happy to inform. I really do. I'm able to enjoy what I do, and I have a lot of optimism for the future, for all of us. So if you look at a chart, you can see that clearly the suicide rate is high. If you haven't heard from your patients that, hey doc, aren't you in one of the highest suicide rate professions? Or, I really hate coming here, but it's nothing personal. I really enjoy you, but it's just this dental thing, we hear this every single day, and we are not top of the list. You can tell your patients right now, we're number 3. We're not number 1, we're number 3. So that's an improvement for all of us. So there are some notable exceptions who I've met, some dentists who inspire me, some dentists that I look up to based on not necessarily just their clinical skills, but how they live their lives, how happy they are, the success they've achieved, the planning they've done, pretty much the things that I wanted to learn. And I mirrored my escape from this box on these doctors and these mentors of mine. And I'm going to share this with you, and I think you're going to really enjoy this.